Times Radio sponsors TalkTV weather.
Friday nights are changing on TalkTV with not one, but two Mike Grahams. I've got Plank of the Week at 7 p.m. and I've got The World According to Mike Graham at 8 p.m. That's two Mike Grahams for the price of one. It's not what I was told. You'd be mad to miss it. Welcome back to the Independent Republic. What do you mean, welcome back? It's only just started. Sorry, I'll start again. Welcome to the Independent Republic of Mike Graham, right here on TalkTV. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful day out there. Lovely, lovely weather. Fantastic promotional activities going on throughout the course of this show, because here's what we're going to be promoting. We're going to be promoting wellness. We're going to be promoting good feelings. We're going to be promoting optimism. And we're going to be promoting all the things that people don't think Britain is anymore, because I'm sick to death of actually listening to myself saying Britain is absolutely busted, Britain is absolutely broke, Britain is no more. Because I think it's time to start the rescue effort, isn't it? It's time to start saying, can we make Britain better? You know, people make fun of Donald Trump. Make America great again was his slogan. And in fact, you'd have to say that since Donald Trump departed the White House, the one thing it hasn't been is great. In fact, Joe Biden has driven it further into the sea, it would seem to me. But despite the fact that we have a government that doesn't appear to be in control of its own kind of future, despite the fact that we have an opposition which doesn't really promise much better, despite the fact that we have crumbling administrations, the fact that we have crumbling sort of infrastructure, the trains don't really work, the border force certainly doesn't work, we've got problems with the police, we've got problems with the NHS, we've got problems with the banking sector. You know, despite all of that, we as Britons still get up every morning, put a smile on our faces and go to work. Well, most of us do, anyway. Now, I'm going to speak to Isabel Oakeshott this morning, TalkTV's international editor. I was with her last night on the talk. And, you know, there's a lot to be miserable about, but in a funny sort of way, it's sort of what makes us British, isn't it? You know, lots of people very excited about the Lionesses getting through to the final of the World Cup down in Australia, and I take my hat off to them. I think it's a brilliant achievement, and of course, there will be many people supporting them. It's going to be live on TalkSport, I believe, on Sunday. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on. But let's just talk about the pride of Britain. Let's talk about what it is that makes Britain great, and why we can't get back to that situation where we do not necessarily rule the waves, but at least have some kind of idea of which way the waves are going, for heaven's sake. 0344 499 1000. There's a British Museum worker who's been sacked over nicking a load of stuff, which I think is sort of quintessentially British. We've got NATO suggesting that the Ukraine should surrender in order to secure membership of NATO. They might have to give up a bit of their country. That's an interesting one. We'll talk to Isabel about that. And also, let's face it, the migrant problem isn't going away anytime soon. So instead of railing against it, what should we do? I mean, we know what should be done. We know how to stop it. The government isn't going to stop it. So maybe we should just stop being so worked up about it and find another way. And if you're waiting for your A-level results this morning, I'm a father waiting to hear from my son, who's supposedly getting his this morning. He told me last night he was waking up especially early in order to find out what he'd done and how well he had done to see whether he could go to university. He was going to get up at 8. I haven't heard from him yet, so I presume he's still in bed. 0344 499 1000 is the number. This is the Independent Republic of Mike Graham. Let us get it on. So, I'm sorry to tell you that we've got some breaking news for you, just to kick the show off. Michael Parkinson has died. One of the most famous interviewers probably of all time. If you're not old enough to remember him, you should probably look him up. But he was one of the quintessential kind of parts of what used to make the BBC brilliant before it all went horribly wrong. He died at the age of 88. We'll have a tribute to him coming up a little bit later in the show. But to apologise for putting that sort of dampener, rather, on the start of the show, Isabel Oakeshott is here. Isabel, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike. What on earth has happened to you? Why have you gone all positive? What's going on here?
Well, do you know, every now and again I like to play little tricks on myself, you know, because I think there is a certain kind of negativity that abounds abroad, and people can get a bit carried away with it, and they can wake up every morning and feel a bit overwhelmed by it. So I think sometimes you have to tell people there's still a lot of great things about Britain. There's still an awful lot of things to look forward to. You know, we are a fantastic nation. We are a very buoyant people. You know, don't forget we've been conquered many times, and yet we're still here. I think sometimes it's worth remembering that.
Well, I agree with you, and I don't want to be that person that's always